Well, from 2019 we've been talking with Kinetika about doing a special project for the 2020 festival. Of course, when we had to postpone that, we had to sort of step back and then rethink. And the great thing was that Kinetika as a company, they managed to do a number of online projects that involved lots of people in 2020. So we could go with them to continue these conversations with the communities across Milton Keynes to see whether we could replicate that and actually allow, what became hundreds of people to be involved in the project here in Milton Keynes.
So the brief was to work with up to 10 community groups to reflect. It was going to be their communities, but now it's reflecting their response to COVID through 5 themes. We nearly always, when we do a project, work with local artists, so it's an opportunity for them to take part in the engagement, but then as they come back to work with us in the studio, they also go through a process of learning our techniques. I mean, unusually, we're kind of at a distance from those community groups, which feels quite strange, really, because normally we're very involved. I mean, normally it would have been Lisa and I in Milton Keynes for 10 days, going to all these places, building up all those relationships. So this one's different for us, and I do miss it in a way, because Ciara and Jane have been able to do that to the best that they can during semi-lockdown. It enables us to perhaps be more artistic. We're actually in the space, our studio, where we have facilities, and we can, in a way, have more time to kind of focus on the artwork.
What inspired this project was a visit that I made to the FIAS Festival in Valencia. And it wasn't long after I had a personal bereavement. And one of the things that really struck me about that festival was lots of fireworks and lots of big events. But the thing that really touched me in that festival was a huge coming together where people came into a central square, a place, and each community carried flowers. And they brought those flowers together and they kind of offered them up. And I just thought it was such a magical way of involving all the people in the city. And then it struck us that actually we could do something very similar on a very small scale with the Kinetika team and invite the people of Milton Keynes from lots of different communities to get involved in this.
And essentially that's what Kinetika's about, and always has been about, is that, very much grassroots, community engage whoever we can, but at the end the artwork must be of high quality, so not to skimp on. It is silk, and it should be silk, it should be special, and to make those community expressions really special.
The design theme that we have here of the mandala, which is expressed in the Milton Keynes Rose, was such an important thing. And I'd brought Ali here, Ali Pretty, the artistic director of Kinetika, and she got really excited by the design of this and obviously took that then into the project itself.
Milton Keynes centrally had nowhere to come for remembrance, and so the Rose gave us that space and more, so people can come here for lots of reasons, for reflection or connection, to bring people together.
The power of the circle in sacred architecture in all kinds of societies reoccurs. So I started to tailor a concept to the shape and the size and the site. The next thing was the mathematics of a flower reoccurs in loads of cultures. There is a wholeness and a rightness to the maths of a flower. So it's got a centre point, but then the growth lines of the flower, intersections and crossings, 108 occasions. We have 108 opportunities for memory points, and sometimes those memory points can be shared because the memory points frequently relate to the calendar and dates. So the ingredients had to come from the place and the people of the place. And I think that makes it more powerful a place because of this activity of use and memory. So the use goes on, but the memories grow.
Mandalas were very much part of Gordon's thinking. If the mandala is a sort of spherical shape reflecting the universe, we've got that here at the Rose because Gordon included world events, local events, international, national. It's all here at the Rose, and it gives us all a chance to remember and reflect and come together and connect.
And so I was thinking about mandalas and that this might be good conceptual framework for the project. And then when I went to a site visit, we went to visit the Milton Keynes Rose. And I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. Here it is, a really brilliant, geometric mandala type structure. And that was going to become the focus for the commissions.
I've used mandalas myself in my own kind of work, and if I do teaching and adult learning and children's workshops, quite a lot for quite a long time, because they're symmetrical patterns that people can relate to. You don't have to think of too many images to kind of then repeat around the circle, so they can be quite simple.
I did a lot of research into mandalas before delivering the workshops, because there are mandalas that we see in the West as just these beautiful patterns, but then there are mandalas in different traditions, like in Hinduism and in Buddhism, and they're actually cosmograms, which are these images that show the origin of the world.
I think the first thing that was I was really pleased about was that I could see that the resource pack that we produced to guide participants through it had been really followed, and it had been a really valuable tool, because I could see that the exercises that Lisa had devised with collage and stickers and borders and stuff, that I could see that reflected in the work that came back.
When I look at this, I feel so privileged that somebody's lifted it and run with it. They got it. Somebody got it. They haven't asked me. They just got it.
Once we showed them that a mandala could be made out of all sorts of things, scissors, buttons, pegs, anything that they had around the house we could make a pattern with. It kind of opened up all sorts of opportunities from really simple things.
I also think they're a really useful way to draw out creativity in people that don't think of themselves as artists, because you can use these very simple shapes that everyone can create, and at the end you've made something very intricate just using these simple shapes. So I saw people that were quite nervous at first, and then as the mandalas began to take form, that they were almost surprised and then really proud of themselves and really happy with the result. 150
people was a lot of people to work with. Some people worked really well, others struggled, so they just picked out bits that they needed or could handle with their children in their time scale.
We need human connection, and so for a lot of people that haven't been able to go out over the last year, to be invited to a workshop which was you're connecting with your local community, through the project you're connecting with a wider community, and the mindful benefits of creating mandalas all came together and created a really special experience for people. I think there are positives and negatives to the way that in-person and online workshops have had to happen this year. Because I was working with lots of different people across lots of different community groups, and Zoom always has the names in the bottom. So I felt that I could use people's names, and it all felt very personal. Everyone's very comfortable and relaxed because they're in their own homes.
Yeah, really inspiring, that especially people who we hadn't met, just sort of sending photographs and sending their children's drawings and collages that they've done was really good. And I was able to organise Broughton group back in the garden, in the gazebo, for as many people as possible to deliver their work, which was lovely just to see people really, walking up the drive with their work was brilliant, and then talk to them about their project. because there was one family that I saw that I'd only seen on Zoom, and then to see them arrive with all their work was lovely.
And I think Jane and Ciara are doing a great job, but they must have worked really hard to kind of get that response. So far I'm really, I'm really pleased, because we were like, well, we have no idea how much is coming to us and what we're going to do, but we've got plenty to work with, and yeah, it's nice.
It was really important for us that the project did link with Milton Keynes, but we really felt it was important that it linked with how people had been feeling through this very strange and difficult year that they'd been. So the themes came out from that.
5 themes are coming together, nature, getting outdoors, saying thank you, and moving forward. So it was about those themes that we then built the project around.
So we've had a really brilliant and intense 10 days. Jane and Ciara brought with them lots and lots of images online and in their suitcases. Already the flags were in groups and their flags were in themes, so then it was just about coming up with those 5 template design structures, which were informed by the drawings that were submitted.
One is based on the Milton Keynes rose, one is based on kind of constellations, one is like pizza slices. And there's one based on a flower, so petals. I did the grids and roundabouts that you have to do when you're doing a Milton Keynes project.
And so now we've allocated which drawings are going into those templates. So the artists at the moment are arranging and scaling up those drawings and putting them into patterns that will be the paper design for the silk.
It's kind of finding the balance between being true to the original imagery that people have created for us, but also doing it in a style that represents Kinetika and is suitable for the batik process. So it's not just working out where things go on a page, it's all the other things that come with it as well.
Well, I think one of the things that both Ciara and I did was actually really not promise, but hope that we could use something from everyone. We wouldn't be able to use somebody's complete 7 mandalas that they'd drawn, but we could use elements of it so that they could recognise their leaf or their snail or whatever it was. So yeah, it was daunting.
So what we're doing is we're using a process of batik, which is hot wax onto the silk. So at the moment, Margaret, one of our volunteers, is waxing the templates out, which will leave a white line for the pattern. And then the next stage will be colouring that when we've decided on the colourways. So each of the 5 themes will have a colourway. Then we will paint that in, the first layer of colour, like if you think of it like a base coat. And then we will wax in all those different images. So we dye once, wax again, and then dye again. Every journey you have to get to that point where you're up against something to get through, and also to push it to a level. So I'm, really want this to be a stunning piece of work and to work as a collective art piece, so that when you see it all 30, you go, wow, that's an amazing art piece. And then you can zoom in to the detail on any one of the mandalas and go, oh, actually, I recognise this drawing. And it to have a kind of coherence as well as an individuality. That's a really hard balance to achieve.
Coming to Kinetika is it's a great experience. The artists have all been really kind and welcoming. Is a real industrious buzz to the workshop. So we come in the morning and everyone gets straight to work and you work all day. So yesterday, Jane and I were absolutely shattered by the time the day finished, but I also felt incredibly fulfilled.
I feel really lucky actually that we can be based in a different studio where everybody's focus is creating these flags. It's really lovely. And also I think Ciara and myself have felt that we've connected with all these people, and it's an honour to bring all their work and all their ideas into one place at the same time for them to focus on for these 10 days.
I think that the artists are going to go back to Milton Keynes feeling proud of what they've achieved. They certainly should, because they have achieved a lot and they've been through that process to get there.
So today we've got the flag set up for a preview event for all the participants. We've had over 150 from 10 groups, and this is an opportunity for all the groups to come together and to see their designs for the first time.
Being here this afternoon has just been, I suppose, so heartwarming, seeing the work, seeing the vibrant colours, seeing all the designs. But we've been very lucky this afternoon because there have been so many people that made those designs and those patterns, and hearing their stories, that's wonderful. And I hope, you know, through this film and through the gallery on the website, we'll be able to share some of that.
Feels very much that it came from the community and it's grown into this beautiful art piece, and I think you can really see the pride and excitement in everyone's faces when they're looking at them.
I really enjoyed the process of working with so many groups on so many different levels. It was a real privilege.
For me personally, I couldn't have asked for more amazing community groups to work with. You can see it's been really good for people's connections with other people and also for mental health.
Strong representation of different groups in Milton Keynes and different artists' ideas, and the fact that we were able to pull it together into a cohesive collection has worked really well.
People love to see their work at scale and moving, and so I think it's worked really well. From that point of view, there's a real ownership once they see the work. And I think a flag is a thing. It has movement and colour. It makes the space that they're in feel different.
Beautiful, colourful, absolutely fantastic.
Amazing.
I just love the colour. I love colours, so that was it. Yes.
And to see our artwork on the flag, it's just amazing.
It's beautiful. They look great all together, and you can see that while they're all unique, there are themes that run between them all, so they interlink nicely with each other. And this is really a great space to showcase them. It's such a beautiful space with the vistas over there, so they look really impressive.
Brilliant to see all like together, and we're looking forward to see everyone together sometime soon.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
All the other groups would
Yes.
be nice. Looking forward to meeting them as well.
Yes.
It was just a way of people coming together and having a chat and sort of just having that current common theme going through what they were doing was really good. I'm really proud to be part of this. And the finished products are amazing.
I just think it's amazing, given the situation and how everyone's had to work, and they've all produced some amazing stuff, really very impressive, yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I think that's one of the things that Milton Keynes is really good at, is community art projects and bringing everyone together from all different backgrounds.
So I just walked around the Kinetika flags for the first time. Beautiful day by the MK Rose, and this is the end of the creation of the Kinetika flags, but it's the start of the International Festival, which we've been planning really now since the end of 2018. Here we are in 2021, and finally everything is looking rosy, and we've got the most beautiful day for the participants who made these flags to be involved and to see them for the first time in Milton Keynes. So I'm absolutely delighted.